Hey, wake up. It's that time of the day, the time of the weekend. Oh it's hot. I took a step outside to take my dog for a walk this morning and was already blasting 95 Fahrenheit. I'm melting. I touched grass and that was a mistake. Let me go turn up the audio though. Alan was looking in a mirror. I was looking in a mirror. My Twitch is slightly dying. That's not your Twitch, it's probably my Twitch. How is everybody doing? I have my fan on, so I hope you guys can't hear it. Like, my fan is right now blowing under my table, so I hope it's not blowing into the mic. So give me a second while I get some things slightly set up. Oh boy, are you ready, chat? Today I was actually talking to Kelpie and we were kind of going through this kind of I was trying to practice with her. Oh, the music didn't loop. To kind of show my stuff. And let me tell you, I was cringing incredibly hard. Alan's getting blown under the table. Yeah, the fan is blowing really hard. You can't hear it, so it's fine? Okay, if it gets too loud, let me know. Also, like my camera refused to connect, so I might be low latency mode due to the fact that, yeah, you can see I'm a little stuttery. You stopped showing me cause of cringe? I know! Chat! This is gonna be it. This is gonna be the day I die. I'm gonna bleed out of my mouth from cringing. Being way too oblivious with your flirts. Are they flirts? Oh man, I was trying to like get my camera connected, but my phone refused to connect to my computer. So yeah, I hope you're ready for me to lag a lot. Alright, I think I got everything set up. Let me go switch on over now. And look, we got the classic music playing. Hopefully the music is not too loud. Are you guys, is the music too loud, chat? Oops, wrong scene. This is... Alright, so to kind of help portray my point, I have decided to make a timeline. Wow, I am super laggy. Wow. Oh, chat. This stream is full of scuff. I think you're gonna see the cringe in my face, in my freezes. Wow, why is... It's really bad. Should I disconnect my phone? Here, one second. I'm gonna unconnect my phone. I'm gonna move it around. This is weird. Maybe I have to restart OBS. One second, chat. We're at a loading screen. Blown on the table. It's hot. Because wait, one second. My OBS is frozen. Looked inside the mirror. What? What does that mean? Even the stream doesn't want to show the cringe. Trust me, chat. The first thing I'm going to show is 100% cringe. I have a whole lot of stories to go with it. And let me tell you, there was a lot of drawings. I had to like shift through a lot of drawings just to kind of make a story. Those were flirts? How's it a flirt? Blown under the table, it's hot because you looked inside the mirror? I don't understand how those two things connect, honestly. Alright, let's try this again. Hopefully my OBS is working. No. Alright, chat, you have slideshow Alan LaFell for today. Alright, chat, I made this timeline. We're gonna start right here. This is the starting point, chat, right? This is the starting point, right? We're starting all the way over here, and we're gonna end all the way over here when I start drawing. Oh, I don't want to spoil it. I called it. Everyone had the cringy pass, yeah. I gave it like a story arc. Oh my gosh, my internet's potatoes, chat. My internet's potatoes. Oh, the bitrate's really bad. No, stream. Chat, this is gonna be it. Okay, of course my internet decides today to be bad. Alan was looking in the mirror because it's hot. Like, Alan's hot. Oh, I see now. Couldn't you just say like, it's hot because you're hot? Alright, chat, let's get started. I'm not gonna stop you from seeing the cringe. We're gonna move into the first age. The thing is, I don't have dates for this because I don't remember the dates. We're gonna start off with the age, the aimless age, chat. the aimless age, alright? This is around, like, I want to say around middle school to high school. In fact, actually, I want to make some silly music. Let me see. Moomers has some pretty good silly music. Here we go. Alright, chat. I didn't want to do the drawing one, but the drawing one's too relaxed. We need something a little happy and giddy. Means certain person receiving a head. Whoa! Is that what that's referred to? Tay? Alright. Are you ready, chat? Let me go bring up my files. I compiled as much as I can to tell a story. So, we have the first age. And I call this... Ready, chat? The aimless age. So, back when I was younger, chat, okay? Back when I was younger, also, hopefully the music is not too loud. Back when I was younger, I really didn't know what I was doing with drawing. It was just like one of those things, like when you're in middle school and elementary school, you're just drawing for the sake of drawing, and you just want to draw cool things. Looks like school doodles. Here's the thing, though. There was a part of a story I wanted to call the Chaos Plane. The design of this is based off Robo from Chrono Trigger, and I had a story back then that's based on time travel. I played Chrono Trigger long ago, and I was like, you know what? I wanna make a story sort of like Chrono Trigger, right? So I made Chaos Plane, and he's not the main character. This is supposed to be like the side character. This is the main character. I love his socks. No, they're not socks. Those are the... This is the main character. I looked at the notes. I put away the sketchbook. So, but his name is Zeke. He has a interest in mechanical things. This is to boost my self-confidence. Dang, Tay. You're gonna have this moment too. I'm just gonna say that right now. You're young. Hey, Sorty. So Zeke was actually based off Edward Elric from Fullmetal Alchemist, and you can see it in his arm, right? He had a mechanical arm. Always thought I'm a bad artist. I take it back. Dang. I'm never doing a commission for you ever again. But he was the main character, and there was the main heroine, right? I see Ed. Do you see the Edward? This one, I don't remember what the reference was for this one. I don't know who, like, I was kind of like imitating for this one, but yeah, this was the female character. Like, it was supposed to be these three, so it's like you, and you, and they go on. I forgot the whole story. She's purdy. Thank you. I forgot the whole story about it. She looked like her family tree is a circle. Looks like your drawings now. I know. And let me show you the villain. What's in her hand? Oh, good question. It's actually a bow and arrow. It's actually a bow and arrow. Like, he's supposed to be the swordsman. He's supposed to be like punching and guns, right? She's the archer, and here's the villain. What is it on the top? Oh. Look how edgy this guy is, right? I don't remember the story exactly, right? Teeth head? Yeah, you can see it. It was that Vegeta hair. Wow, you can see the really details in the lines. I don't remember like too much of the story. I have written down a lot about Zeke, and his name was Crank. His name was CR12 or KR12, if I remember, but they called him Crank. Edgy stuff is always fun, yeah. His name was Crank, chat, and I think her name was Janet, based on what I remember from the notes I was reading. I didn't give a name for the villain though. Cranky art style, you're cranky. But basically they were time travelers and something like that. There wasn't too many notes on the story itself, it was just the characters itself. Looks like Chris? I don't know who Chris is. But along with the aimless age, so I don't have much drawings from this time, and that's because I actually didn't really draw much during this time, and that's because I played a lot of video games. But you could tell some of the games I played, like Counter-Strike. Look at your handwriting. My handwriting is still the same, chat. I can barely read my handwriting as it is, honestly. Do you like my Counter-Strike character with all his crazy details? His gun smaller than his hand? His pockets, right? What is this one? Let me see. I made sure to curate this. And also Maple Story. Like, I made some pictures of Maple Story. You got better? No, this was all during the same age. The thing was, I had no rules. I was just drawing. And it's like one of those things when you first start out, you really don't think about what you're drawing or how you're drawing. You're just drawing. And like, there's a lot of things that I drew, but there wasn't that much. Also this person, like, this is from Bleed Man. I don't know if you guys heard of them, but Bleed Man still actually makes art today. And you can check out his Twitter, but he made like anime-esque kind of drawings to like cartoon characters. Oh, Chris. Oh, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. That makes sense. Did you go for a Dragon Ball Z art style and made the art way worse? No, I wasn't going for a Dragon Ball Z art style, actually. Funny enough, you'll see in the next arc what my art style was leaning towards, but everything here was just looking at drawings and trying my best to kind of make a drawing, you know? But that's the first age, chat. It's a very short age because there's not that many things here. But the next age is what I call the friend age. And once again, I don't have too much to show, but I did make notes. This is the time when I was influenced by Lucky Star. And I think you'll be able to see it. Your writing has improved about as much as my height. I'm 5'5". You're drawing your head versus the drawing you made. Yeah. So, what's it called? Here's the friend age. And the friend age is a very interesting one because during this time, I did a lot of self-inserts, right? I did a lot of character self-inserts, so I had to try to remove as much as I can. So I kept the ones that weren't self-inserts, right? And I also put my friends too. I was drawing my friends and we had like a lot of fun 4-coma stories and fun stories like that. But this is the time you'll notice some characters that are reoccurring, right? 5'5", you're short. Yeah, it's okay. Don't worry. I think that's the thing too, like, you know. I don't mind my handwriting being ugly. Alright, let me start off with this one. So this is the zombie story. I think you'll recognize this character the most. 5'6". Ignore the one on the right, the left. The left one was like a redraw that I did much later, right? If you guys don't recognize her, let me go bring up a drawing that's I have. And I think I told this story before. Back long ago when I first drew specific characters, right? Give me a second, I gotta pull something up. Here we go. This will work. Alright. That's right! Your handwriting sucks too, don't worry. Alan's like 3'2". I'm 3'6", actually. This character right here is Remy. I started drawing Remy back in high school, and she was actually for a different story. She wasn't for the slice of life that there is now. And you can see how much different she is now. Want to stick your face in a hydraulic press? What? But yeah, Remy was actually part of a zombie story, and she had a chainsaw, right? And in that zombie story, there was like there was other characters, right? I had my self-insert. My self-insert was in there, and then I made 3 other characters, if I remember correctly. Is that supposed to be Remy? That's supposed to be Remy. This is the first drawing of Remy that I ever done, and she, along with it, I made other characters for the zombie story. As you can see the Lucky Star inspiration. Like if I pull up Lucky Star, you can see like where Lucky Star, like what's it called? The Lucky Star art style leaked into my art style. You know what I mean? Like with the big eyes and the small mouth. You should totally redraw all these on stream. Funny enough, I don't want to spoil what's going to be right here. What's it called? I don't want to spoil too much about what's going to happen. But later on, you'll see that I come back to these characters and I redraw them over and over through the ages, right? Give me a second. But you can see where the... Let me go back to the Remy one, actually. I think it shows better on here. You can kind of see where I was, like, inspired by that Lucky Star look. Here we go. Let me go... Boop. Like, you can kind of see it. Because, like, the eyes, the face... the left looks way better. I don't know what you're supposed to be saying. He literally me, except he didn't stop drawing due to circumstances. That's the thing too. Like, I think if one of my strongest traits as a person, it's probably my persistence to keep going. Like, despite everything, you'll see that there's the age of like the scary age and all that stuff. You seen that one, Lucky Star? Yeah. You're squinting your eyes. Thank you. But yeah, so essentially this is Remy. And then we had other characters. So we had this other character. I didn't give him a name. We had a little baby zombie. And then we had like the cute little girl or person, right? And the idea was supposed to be like a comedy. The jawline. You could hear the Giga Chat. It was supposed to be like a zombie apocalypse story, but it was a comedy story, right? So she was the one that was like usually doing silly things. The baby zombie was not a threat because it had no teeth. So even though it was a zombie, it can't really like infect anyone since it had no teeth. This character was just like, you know, always had headphones on, never really paying attention, but just going through life. And this was the straight person, right? This was the person that was like, oh, everybody stop being idiots kind of thing. So even then, Remy back then was like that. But the funny thing was, Remy was the one I used the most in my small comics I made back then. Like when I was telling like making silly little comics, Remy was the one that I used the most, right? Of course with my self-insert character, it was a back and forth, right? I didn't actually use these other characters as much, right? But then there was a time where I started phasing Remy out too. The chainsaw looks like a carpet cleaner, thank you. There was a time where I phased Remy out too, and that's when I got into the friend age, where I started drawing my friends a lot more. And there was like a group of four of us, so I drew 4 of us in like silly comic situations, right? But that's not the only thing you'll see, and I hope you guys are taking notes, alright? I know my internet's being potatoes, but I hope you're taking notes, because you're gonna see a lot of these characters reoccurring, coming back, and all that stuff, right? So, I also made a fantasy story during this time, right? You mean you can clean your carpet with a chainsaw? Heck yeah! And in this fantasy story, let me give you the gist of it, right? The fantasy story was basically an isekai. And once again, it was another self-insert, right? I self-inserted myself into an isekai, and the idea was like, it was basically a generic isekai, right? So, but the thing was, I wasn't making it into a comic. I was actually making it into a video game. This was at the time I was introduced to RPG Maker. So I wanted to make like a isekai kind of game. And I want to say this character's design is probably the most original of, maybe there's 2 different characters that were the most original that I actually really enjoyed their idea and actually redrew them several times. And here's the thing too, I'm actually thinking of bringing this character back if I ever do Dire Engagement, because she does fit in with that fantasy theme, right? Her name is Hime, you know, because Hime means princess, right? Her story is that she was a princess. She was the one that brought the main character. Oh, that hurt to say, chat. Wow, that hurt to say. Into the other world. Basically, it was the isekai thing, right? This one's also a swordsman girl. Not too much story to her. This one was based off Carol from Tales of Vesperia, right? Alan's falling back from the cringe, I know. He was supposed to be like the lumberjack. He was the one that's supposed to be like, he was based off Carol in Vesperia, but his story was that he was a lumberjack. He was the first characters to come across the main characters. He joined the party, all that stuff. Generic stuff. This guy's based off Raven from Tales of Vesperia. You could tell really hard where I got my inspiration from. You always want to make an RPG Maker, but didn't have the motivation to do it. You know, I still want to make an RPG Maker, right? Wind blowing hard on this kid, I know. Right? Here's one of my favorite designs from this age. Like, it was twins, right? But the thing was, like, they're supposed to be young, but they had magical powers, but the problem was they couldn't use their magic alone. So, in order to cast spells, they had to basically hold hands and cast their spells together, right? And then one, basically, it's like one of those things where the magic channels back and forth. So, it's like one focused on healing, right? And the other one focused on black magic, right? Which is basically destructive magic. So in order for them to cast spells, they had to hold hands and transfer their mana back and forth. So it's like when they need to heal, the mana, or she casts the spells, right? When they need to use destructive spells, she casts the spells. And the whole concept was that they're 2 characters like combined into one. I thought that was like the most like creative and fun one I had back then, and I like their concept so much that you'll see that I redrew them several times, and I want to use them actually in the story that I'm working on for Dire Engagement. Like they're gonna actually be a character back in there because I really enjoyed that character's idea. Sounds like a pretty good concept. Kind of reminds me of your favorite childhood game. Are you talking about Final Fantasy V? Part of the thing was that they were inspired by Palm and Pam from Final Fantasy V, but Palm and Pam were two separate characters, and I thought they would be fun if they were combined. But like they had like the whole cat design, so she has like a white hat with a black suit. She had a black hat with a white suit. That's so cute. Thank you, Cactus. Also, hi, Cactus. You missed me cringing. Some of these are cringe, some of them are good ideas. But we're going back to cringe. Devola and Popola, I can see that actually. She's supposed to be a snow girl. She came from a snow village, right? Basically, the main character. Me. I hate it when I have to say that. Found myself drowned in the ocean and drift onto an icy island. Blah, blah, blah. All that stuff. Generic, basically. You're talking about Summon Knights? That sounds familiar. I haven't played a Summon Knight game, but I know about them. And also Cat Girl. Obligatory, like, fighting cat girl. During this time, I didn't really make as much OCs though. These were probably the only OCs from this generation, right? To actually, to come out of it. Why did you put it like that, Tay? But basically, these are the OCs that came out of this generation that will be reoccurring characters. Write that down on your notes, chat. Remember these character designs, especially the twins. I want you to remember the twins especially, and I want you to remember Hime, right? These two designs were the ones that stuck with me, and what's it called? I always liked the idea of a battle princess with a rapier, right? Since that was you. No. This is not me. This is not me. My main character was me. This is a Yuki. Her name was Yuki because I was very uncreative with names, and I was very, very uncreative with names, so I called her Yuki. Happy? Good design. Some of them had some fun creative ideas. I could do better now with some of the designs, but they were fun creative ideas. So that was the age of the friends, right? There wasn't much there, right? But we move on to the next age. I call this the Aimless Age Season 2, right? So this was focused on improving, but I didn't improve, if that makes sense. This was focused on like, no, not neat. It's Neps. No, it's Neps and Idols. Neptunia and Idol Master has influenced my art style a lot during this time, and you'll see it a lot too, right? So, no, it's not neat, you guys. Don't look at my handwriting, chat. Oh, Hazukashi. But here's the thing, though. This is the time. Stop. We're clearing chat. Stop it. Kelpie, clear my chat. There you go. Hey. But I was improving, but I have no standards, right? So during this time, I was trying to improve myself, but I wasn't really trying to improve myself. And you'll see what I mean. It was one of those things where I tried to get back. Tay, you're losing your mod soon, Tay. I don't know how. It's okay, Kelpie. You're gonna lose your mod, Tay. Also, my internet, chat. My internet's potatoes! The bitrate's dawn! Alright. Let's go ahead and start with this age. So, during this time... Yeah, I hope the bitrate's better right now. This is during the time where I had no idea what I was doing. Oh, 1 second, I'm getting a call. Sorry, chat, 1 second. Say something funny to each other. Alright, I'm back. Sorry about that. This is part of the reason I didn't like to stream in the afternoon, because usually I get calls around this time. What are you guys talking about? Did they have some oddly coherent stories? I had some dreams that were, like, what's it called? They were continuous. You always dream that I'm late for things every single time. I have some dreams too of my friends where they hate me, and that always like makes me sad when I wake up. Luckily my friends could never hate me, right? Right, Kelpai? Right? Right? Alright, so let's go move on to the what's it called? We called this the Aimless Age Season 2, right? So during this time, I drew a lot of things, and I was a big fan of Idolmasters and Neptunia, right? So I drew a lot of things based on Neptunia and Idolmaster. Wow, it's just saying it out loud is making me cringe, chat. Wow. But you can see, like, I had Miku, like, right? We had some Matsune Miku. You can see there's, like, improvement, but not improvement, because I didn't know what I was doing. I was just drawing, once again, for the sake of drawing and hoping to get better. I wasn't actually doing research. I wasn't trying to learn. It was just like, that's why I call these age the endless age, right? Or the aimless age, because there wasn't really much, what's it called? There wasn't much for me to kind of draw. I have only had a single dream where it continued after waking up. Was the several years ago. Was the most satisfying dream. I know what you mean. I think I had one of those dreams. It was a dream that was like a horror story, and it was like I got scared halfway through. Then I woke up. I was like, wait a second, that was a dream. So I went back to sleep, and I made a gun and shot the guy. Oh, chat. This drawing is... Do you guys remember Persona? I was a big fan of Persona during the time. So I was like, what would Alan's Persona look like? Chat, this is my Persona. Why is he wearing underwear? All cool things wear underwear. Look at Superman. Look at his helmet. Like, I like the helmet and the two-face thing, but oh gosh, it's kind of cringy, chat. Oh yeah, and I also drew idols. I drew Idolmaster. This is Miho from Idolmaster. Like, here's the thing too, like, when it comes to drawing, you can't get complacent, because even though this looked decently okay, I had no understanding of the basics and the fundamentals, you know? Everyone plays in underwear, yeah? So even though this looks decent for the time, I still was drawing like stuff like this, right? I was also like, this was during the time too, I was experimenting with comics, right? So I was making like an Idolmaster comic thing, right? So there's like a bunch of random things. We have Uzuki, right? We have Uzuki from it. We have, look, do you guys recognize that girl? Chat, do you know who that is? She's killer of children, killer of her sister, killer for all her friends. And then more idols, right? This one was like an idol I tried to make up. So you can see there's a vast difference from this to this, and they were drawn around the same time. I had no understanding of fundamentals during this time, much less do I have a process. It's Alan's self-insert of a Neptunia? No, that's Nepgear. But speaking of Neptunia, there was a time where I was trying to make my own console girls. Oh, why does it hurt to say that out loud? Can you guess? I'm sorry about my scanner quality. Can you guess which girl this is supposed to be? Can you guess which girl this is supposed to be? Your internet's being wonky? No, that's just my scanner quality being low. So yeah, I think you guessed which one this one is, based on that drawing up there, right? DS is the best console? Can you guess who this is supposed to be? Oh. Can you guess who this is supposed to be? Teehee? Do you see my teehee? Looks like a mantis. I think you guys could tell what this one is supposed to be. And then like you could tell which one this is supposed to be too. But yeah, you can see like all this is drawn, chat. Remember, this is all drawn at the same time as like these drawings, right? This drawing, right? Like there was no concept. That's the thing. During this time there was no concept. I just was doing things. I could so hardly make it out. I'm sorry. My quality of the scanner was pretty low. PSP. But during this time too, right? Sadly, this was like around the time when I started falling out with my friends. So I really didn't see my friends as much. So like unlike the friend age where I was creating a bunch of stories with my friends, this has become the age where I was making more OCs. And on top of that, I was making a new zombie story. Granted, she's the only design that I actually finished. Ooh. It's so... Chat, my art style was... She's the only one with the zombie one. Your OCs were my new friends? I won't lie, they kind of were. But this even hurts me. Tay, you've been insulting me this whole time. Don't say that you don't mean to insult me now. The boing boings are bigger, yeah. And then I made another story, right? So this was a fantasy story, right? So it was based off a main character. For the first time, I started making main characters that were not me. And I kind of based him off a game called Alona, which you're gonna see a lot of, right? For those who don't know what Alona is a roguelike, right? Let me go bring it up. Alona has to be one of my favorite games of all time, right? It's a very simple roguelike. Let me see if I can bring it up. Like, they made a mobile game of it. It was okay. It looked like this. Let me see if I can find a better picture of it. Like, maybe I'll do a Alona stream one day. But the game was really fun. It was just open world and you could just do whatever you want kind of thing, right? But here's what the game looked like. Consider that a posture check. It is hot. Ooh. It looked like this, right? It was really, really fun and dumb, right? You can even see right here, you wield the sword that ends all, right? Looks like Growl Online. It's not like Growl Online, and I remember Growl Online because there was a time I played a lot of Growl Online. It's basically a roguelike that was essentially silly. Like, you could drink out of the well and get pregnant and aliens burst out of your stomach, right? You could go to a town and people are doing the dirty tango on the streets, right? But all the graphics look like this, right? You can go kill the king of Palmia, which is one of the towns, and you can come back and he'll be back to being alive, right? It was a very silly game, right? Sounds like a kink game. It's not a kink game because you don't get any graphics more than this. And this was one of my favorite games because there was so much stories that I made from it. And you're gonna see that because back in here, right? Well, maybe we won't jump to it just yet. We'll start with this story though, because Alona is the next tablet right here. Alright, but going back onto this, so the main character is basically like, it's a fantasy story, of course. Basically, he travels with this girl, right? The little girl and his big brother, right? I don't remember what the thing was, right? But I think it was just more like a, it was just a story of them traveling. It was like just a journey story, right? And here's another design that I actually liked. So, they also travel with this merchant girl, right? Here's the thing with the merchant girl. The merchant girl doesn't actually know how to fight. The merchant girl actually carries around a bag. She had medicinal stuff, right? But she also had a mechanical doll that she found or she bought off somebody, and she managed to make the mechanical doll come to life. The mechanical doll is the one that does all the fighting for her. It was based off the idea of Alice from Toho, right? I was a big Toho fan during this time, but I like the idea of this character that could not fight, right? And this is a design you're gonna see come back. Write that down in your notes, chat, right? So basically, I don't remember too much of the gist of the story, but it was these four characters going on an adventure, basically, right? And she was the merchant. She would like try to take as much money as from you, right? You can see her smug. You could barely see her smug here and writing, right? And she basically like had the most design out of everybody else, right? We had the big brother, we had the little girl, but out of all of them, the merchant girl was the design that I actually enjoyed the most from it. And I think she's actually going to show up in Dire Engagement as well. Like the designs that I really liked from back then are going to show up later on. Alan's favorite game was a king game. It's not a king game! Ooh, chat! I'm gonna stab you. But going back to Alona, right? Going back to this game, right? You can see over here, these are your companions. You can tell because they have blue health bars, right? So you have different kinds of characters that you could have join on you, right? And because of that, I made a game or made a story based on Alona, right? So basically, it was the main character, right? I forgot what his name was, but there was like the first companion you could get in there was named the little girl, and you can name her. So I called her Alice. And she was like my companion throughout the whole game. And I made stories up of it. Like, you know, like the idea of these two people going on a journey, right? But there's also more companions, right? There's more companions. So you get more companions through it. And the story kind of shifted and changed throughout the years. And you'll see why. Because it went from having a companion group of 4 to just being 2, right? And you'll see why. Because one of them turns to a snail. But keep that in mind, because Alona was almost a story I was gonna make for a webtoon. You guys know how I make it Offtask, but Alona was actually one of the potential stories for webtoon that I was gonna make. And you're gonna see that as time goes on, that the story actually evolved and had different kind of things that go on with it, right? But during this time, chat, who is that dork? If you guessed Aine, and if you don't know who Aine is, chat, smack yourself because you should know who Aine is. If you guessed Aine, right? This Aine, this Aine, you are 100% correct because this is the original Aine. Aine was another old design, right? That I had from back then. You know what? That's a less than flattering picture. Here you go. If you guess, whoops. There you go. If you guess this Aine, that's Aine. They don't look alike. That's the thing. Back then, Aine used to have long hair. I could have never guessed they look alike. That's the thing. She used to have long hair, but you can see some of the traits, right? Her ahoge used to be on her top of her head rather than her side of her head. You can still see the side sweep of her hair, right? Don't mind this. This was like a really bad drawing, right? Maybe the next drawing might show it better, but see? The jump. The thing was, like, Aine used to have really long hair. And part of the reason why was because her original concept was Aru, right? Which was a play on the word all. This was supposed to be my everything I use for OC. And you know what's funny? She technically still kind of plays that role, right? Because you can see her showing up on the stream every now and then, right? She was supposed to be the OC that basically I use for everything. For like comic ideas, for like story ideas, right? If there was a fantasy story, she would show up. Even if it's just a cameo, right? So that was her original concept, Aru, right? And you can see I played with her idea a lot, right? Different fun hairstyles, doing stupid things, forehead beam. Oh gosh, chat. Oh gosh, right? I played a lot with the idea of Aine, right? Technically, she was called Aru. Funny enough, Aine means brilliance, which is funny because it's like, you know, a play off that idea. So I had a lot of Aine drawings, right? And look, she's rooting me on. Practice every day. You can do it. Do your best. Get better at drawing. Even back then, Aine was Aine. The thing was though, Aine wasn't as much as a lazy person as she was back then. She was supposed to be like the more enthusiastic one. But you can see that semblance, right? If I put them right next to each other, right? Can't you see the semblance? Aine really hasn't, like, Aine has both changed and not changed over the years. But during this time, Aine was like the OC that I focused on drawing a lot. Which leads us to our next generational arc, chat. Oof. Alright. Ooh boy. I hope you're enjoying this TED Talk, chat. There was a time where I really wanted to get better at drawing, right? So I call this the age of attempted growth. Because I tried hard to practice, but the thing was, it wasn't really proper practice, if that makes sense, right? I did still improve though, because like drawing is just, you know, how much you draw. Let me see if I can find it. Here we go. And during this time, you'll see that I worked on a lot of things during this time. So I had a lot of learning, right? Oh, chat, don't look. It's a bikini. So you can see like I did I did several practices, right? You can see I did it several years, right? I did a lot of practice over the years. Look, there's Remy. Don't ignore that though, that was the later one, right? So I did a lot of practice where I pretty much did a lot of redraws. And you can see, here's that girl from Alona again. She was the main girl, Alona. So I was practicing with different designs, I was practicing with different ways to draw, right? You can see I did a lot of this, like just a practice, right? Essentially just drawing over and over and over again. And you can see that there's some improvements. Part of the reason was because I went back to these old drawings and I drew along with them in a way, right? But during this time too, right? I still didn't have a good comprehension of drawing, right? I didn't really understand how to draw still. You can see that I was practicing it there, but I still had some lucky drawings that turned out really well. Like right here, like Idolmaster, right? So even though I didn't really understand how to draw, like I was able to make some lucky drawings where it didn't really, it's not the best looking drawings, but they're decent enough to kind of actually look like there's something, you know? We had Mirai from Idolmaster. We had Shizuka from Idolmaster. You could see I was a big Idolmaster fan, chat. You can see Ibuki from Idolmaster. Maybe you can see why also I liked Hololive so much. Hololive was just literally Idolmaster but with VTubers. So there was a lot of like drawings I made during this time. But the thing was, don't let that fool you. I was still learning and trying to get better. I put a lot of effort into practice, but I wasn't practicing properly. You can see like all these bodies are all kinds of weird, right? Because I really didn't know what I was doing, right? I was just doing things. Hopefully you guys can see it, right? Look at that Nep. Do you recognize that Nep? Who's that Neptunia? Same with this too. Like I had some drawings too, practicing different ways of view, right? I have all kinds of different stuff where I just kept practicing and practicing. There was no standard, there was no set rule. It was just me practicing without understanding what I was practicing, if that makes sense, right? But like I said, every now and then I got a breakthrough with a lucky shot. So every now and then I make a drawing that looks relatively cute, you know? It's not perfect, but it was cute enough. Look at Rabbit Girl. Wow, it's really hot in my room, chat. Oof, I'm starting to burn up. And during this time too, I made a lot of Aine, right? I was just having fun with art, yeah. So you can see I did some redrawings of Aine. So we had some drawings. Like you can see even more how Aine kind of resembles herself. Aine had a little bit of a change. Her ahoge was still on top of her head, but her hair was still pretty similar but different, right? But she still had the same design, the idea of a t-shirt with bike shorts. I think you noticed that in the previous one too. Oh, not that one. Let me go close that. You'll notice that Aine's original design was still t-shirt, bike shorts, right? She had Zettai Ryoki though. That was something that she lost over the age. She had Zettai Ryoki, but no longer Zettai Ryoki, chat. She's now just bare leg Aine, right? I thought bare leg felt more lazy, you know? And during this time though, I also had some more story ideas. I had a story idea for a slime girl, right? Going back to the RPG Maker thing, right? So I still wanted to make an RPG Maker game. I think my friend back from college, I'm not going to say their name just yet because their name is going to be very important for later on. Wink, right? Keep that in your notes. So I had a story about a slime girl, right? And her story was that she essentially was just going on this journey. She had this crystal that turned her into a slime girl, right? But then she can essentially eat anything, right? And anything she eats, she absorbs the power of, right? So it was supposed to be a game that was like Undertale, where you could go the pacifist route, or you could go the genocider route, right? So if you chose to go the genocider route, you could kill everybody and consume them, and basically you become the demon lord, right? The whole idea was the crystal was slowly corrupting the slime girl, and if you go the bad route, you eat everybody and you turn into a demon lord, right? But every time you eat somebody, you gain a stat gain, right? So you gain stats based on what you eat. So you eat regular humans, then people will get mad at you, they'll try to kill you. Something like that, right? And in this story, right, if you played a good character, like you don't eat everyone, the pacifist route, you'll have like this party, this party of generic heroes basically trying to trump you. So they will try to fight you. They had like They had like this main character. You had the main character, you have the wizard. My demon lord can't be this cute. You're recognizing today's art style? That's the thing too, is like you can see my art style slowly grow over the years into something, right? It's not the same, but you can see semblance of it back then. But you had like the generic party. You have wizard, you have cleric, you have thief, you had what's it called? Main character hero. They would always try to fight the slime girl, even though the slime girl is not doing anything bad, right? Unless the slime girl is doing something bad, then yeah, you kill them, basically. It was supposed to be like Undertale, where you can kill everybody. So like the thief girl was supposed to be like this like hard girl, but she cries easily. Hero, hot-headed. Main character, or the wizard was supposed to be very knowledgeable, and the cleric girl is basically like, oh, I'm so nice, basically. That was their personality traits, right? But it was all focused on the slime girl. Oh, chat, my drawings are garbage. Why was I so garbage, chat? I was such a garbage artist. Past Alan needs to get good. But yeah, like I said, during this time there was no rules. So like, even though like some of these drawings look good, like I was all over the place. And during this time, I won't lie, I was really sad with how I was drawing, right? But during this time, you can see I brought back some characters. You can see, remember when I said, remember these characters? All the way back here? Because I redrew them several times, right? Remember these characters? Even though, like, I wasn't still as good of an artist, I like going back and redrawing some of these characters, right? And then you can see I also draw Aine, right? Oh, I skipped right here. There you go. You can see I drew more of the Alona characters from Alona, right? And then like, funny thing, so I had to draw like a rabbit character, and this ties into later because, believe it or not, my original OC idea for myself wasn't actually a sheep. It was actually a rabbit, right? And this drawing was for somebody else because they wanted me to draw a fantasy character for them. But this idea actually carried over to my original OC idea. You might see it in a couple doodles, but my original OC idea for myself was like a rabbit. It looked something like this, right? Alan the Rabbit. I almost was a knockoff Pekora, right? It was something like this. This used to be my original OC kind of character. It had the glasses, it had like the eye closed kind of thing. My OC rabbit, right? That could have been me. Alan the Sheep was almost Alan the Rabbit. Which could have fit though. They were both timid creatures. Like I chose a sheep because sheeps fit me more. And when I read the zodiac information about sheep, you know, the idea of timid, creative, and all that stuff, I felt like a sheep felt more suiting for a VTuber. But there was almost a time when I was a rabbit, chat. You can see I still drew these OCs. See? You can see the twins, right? Can Alan do the Pekora lap? What? Come on, chat, you gotta do the arrows up and down. If I'm gonna do the Pekora lap, you gotta do the arrows up and down. But you can see there's the zombie guy, there's the Hime, there's the twins, right? And here's something I brought back that's a little bit peculiar. I brought Remy back. Thank you, chat. But originally, Aine and Remy actually hated each other, right? They used to be at heads with each other. Why? Because Aine was like the OC for OC. It was supposed to be for everything. But then I was like, you know what? What if I brought Remy back to be also everything for everything? So back then, they used to actually fight. And they used to argue with each other all the time. And like, you could see it in some drawings where Aine was irritated with Remy because Remy was like Remy, right? They used to hate each other, which is the funniest thing. Hey Starcross, how are you doing? Is it Astra or is it... Oh, I forgot the other one. Oh no. Oh, well, Luna? No. I won't... I'm sorry, I'm bad with name. How are you doing though? We're going over my art journey. Who's there? I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Astra or Luna. Is it Luna? I forgot. Oh my gosh, my brain is so fart today. It's melting. How are you doing today? Chat, welcome Starcross into the channel. But yeah, Aine and Remy used to fight over each other. They used to fight a lot. That was essentially the concept of him. And you can see I still did some drawings. Slime Girl, right? The OC character. Thank you, chat. Luna is my new nickname. Aura! That's what it was! So it's Aura behind the scene. How you doing, Aura? I'm sorry, Aura. I'm super bad with names. Right, Sorty? You know I'm bad with names. Chat, welcome Aura into the channel. We're going over my art journey. We went from this, Aura. Wait, we went from this to this, right? You're doing good? That's good to hear. I hope you enjoy this silly shenanigans. It's okay, I'll shake with my feet hands next time. Okay. Welcome, thank you. So that was the age of, like, attempted growth. I won't say I didn't grow, but you could see that I was aimless still. Astra will end up lurking. I see. Happy sheep hello. Yeah, my sheepy hellos. Move on to the next one. I call this the age of stagnation. But the thing was, I'll put stagnation in quotation marks. And the reason why is because I really didn't grow, but I did grow, if that made sense. Art is not about, like, growing tremendously. It's about slow growth, right? And simply me drawing over and over and over again, that actually made me draw better, if that made sense. And I'm gonna show you what I meant. Alright, let me go bring up the file. Let me show you. Let's start off with Aine, right? Oh, along with, there's spoilers in here. I don't want to show you that one just yet. So, there was a time where Aine and Remy suddenly became friends. From enemies to friends, right? So, I stopped having them be haters and hating each other to them being best friends. And I thought that would be more fun. No way, you and Astra are like twins? Are we like twins? Are we closer than brothers? Now we gotta fight each other? So I end up drawing a lot more. You could tell they're not good. I was still experimental with my art style, right? But you could see that art style was trying to hone in and get closer to something, right? Right? There was something of a semblance here. You can see there's still Aine with her weird herahoge. You can see the semblance of Tumblr art? Yes, chat. I almost did that. You two have too many things in common, it's almost scary. I swear, Astra is like my brother from another mother. If anything, Astra and I might actually look exactly the same in real life. We see each other, we shake hand feats, we fist bump with our hands, and then we start like making silly gremlin noises. I gotta do a collab with Astra. I think it'll be fun. Like, I had a fun collab idea. You wouldn't be surprised. I had a fun collab idea that I could do with Astra where we draw like either each other or we do a drawing where we take a time, right? So it's like we take 1 minute each and we draw as much as we can and then we switch over and then he draws for 1 minute, then I draw for 1 minute. Maybe it'll be like 5 minutes, right? Something like that. And then we make a drawing together. He'll be 1000% down, trust me. That'll be great. I just haven't had time to organize it. This thing took me a long time to set up with this art journey stuff. But run that idea by him. That could be fun. I have other fun ideas too. Like if we did a Gartic phone, that could be fun. Or like some other drawing ideas where we draw each other. But yeah. You can see I had, like I said, Aine and Remy became best friends. They went from hating each other to becoming best friends. You told him Gartic too? It'll be fun. Oh, I got sneeze. Alright. Ooh. Sorry about that, chat. Also, you can see Neptunia. I drew a lot of Neptunia. Look at that Nep! Do you guys recognize that Nep? That was a burp, not a sneeze? How could you tell? Did I left my mic unmuted? Did I left my mic unmuted? Woo! Alright, we're clearing chat. You didn't witness it. Yep. Alright, chat. How was your day, chat? You having a good day? Alright. let's go Wando. But you'll see, there's Yuki. She's redrawn again. I don't draw her as much. Pururuto. But who is this, chat? What is that? That's Mayo? That's right, chat. This girl right here, chat, is Proto Mayo. And let me tell you, as I developed Offtask actually originally used to be about 2 high school girls, right? And I thought I needed to add a 3rd girl to round it out. Let me go pull up Mayo. Right? Where is it? Where is it? Let me go pull up Mayo. No, that's the wrong folder. Here we go. Offtask, right? Offtask illustrations, right? There we go. New Year. There you go. This girl right here is her. Can you believe that? Do you see the difference in design? Mayo has a tomato on her hair. You have a tomato on her hair. She used to have a lot more messier hair, right? That's Mayo. And the thing was, the reason why Mayo looks so different is because I actually didn't come up with Mayo's design. Action Kitty did. And that's a spoiler for later, but during this time, I actually made friends with Action Kitty for the first time. So when I was starting to make these drawings, I made friends with Action Kitty, and they gave me a lot of ideas to kind of influence. They were the one that suggested a lot of things to me and gave me ideas, so that's why I added a 3rd person. But here's the thing though, Mayo's design actually partially carried over to Relish's design, right? And I think there's a 4-coma to show that. Do you guys remember that 1-4-coma with the high school one where they were high school girls? It was like kind of a blast from the past. That was kind of closer to like Mayo's and Relish's combined design. But the thing was, like I said, this was during the time where all 3 of them were still high school girls, right? That was part of the story. Like nowadays, Remy is an adult, Aine's an adult, and Mayo's still the high school girl, right? And then the thing was too, back then, like the way I had it organized, Remy was supposed to be large, right? Remy was the tallest one. Funny enough, Mayo, Proto Mayo, was supposed to be the 2nd in size. And Aine was actually supposed to be the shortest. Aine was supposed to actually be the short one. You can see that's a little different nowadays because Mayo is now the shortest one. But originally Mayo was supposed to be medium. If that makes sense, So, yeah, she went from 3 Hoges to 2. Actually, it wasn't really a Hoge, it was more like this. She used to have that, right? If I had to draw her again, right? If I went back to draw her, she probably looked something like this, right? She was supposed to be like a sleepy, dopey look, right? And then she had like the kind of reverse of Aine, right? This is just a really quick rendition. Then she had like the dopey kind of like that. And then she had like she was supposed to have like a really long braid, right? No problem, package. She was supposed to have like Puruto's braid. You know how like Purin? What was her English name? I forgot what her English name was, but her Japanese name was Pururuto. I think that's what Neptune called her. But she was supposed to have like this messy braid, right? And it was supposed to be like this really, really thick hair. So this is what her design was supposed to be. Plutia? Oh yeah, that's what it was, Plutia. I called her Pururuto because that's what Neptunia called her in the Japanese version. You can kind of see the semblance between the two. But yeah, during this time was when I started drawing a lot more Mayo. And during this time too, was when I started actually making stories with her. Another off-task character. So during this time was when I was actually giving story elements to Aine, Remy, and she didn't actually have a name. And that was part of her gimmick. Her gimmick was that she was easily forgotten. So I actually never gave her a name. Mayo came much later. Like Action Kitty and I came up with the name Mayo. And the original way Mayo came up was that Aine was using code names and she was looking around the room what to call Mayo. And she saw a jar of mayo, so she called her Mayo. Just like me? I know. But there was a lot of like story elements that came from it. The thing was too, with old Mayo, she was supposed to be like this like sadistic yandere kind of girl. Sadistic and yandere. Sadistic and yandere. Well, Aine and Remy were pretty normal, right? I had to say that several times. So you can see that I made a lot of things that involved them. She's holding something sussy. It's a crowbar. Take your mind out of the gutter. It's a crowbar, chat. So I drew a lot of them though. You can see like they became best friends immediately. Unlike Remy and Aine, who became enemies, from lovers to enemies. Like they all became friends, right? They used to hang out in the schoolroom, right? And they would just like do silly things together, right? Right? They were best friends. Which kind of translates to now, because actually Relish has that role now. So technically this still exists in Offtask, but instead of Aine, Remy, and Mayo, it's actually Aine, Remy, and Relish that were best friends like this. Spoilers though, I don't want to spoil Offtask too much, but there's actually going to be a fourth girl that was part of their group. And the thing is, she already showed up. Her design actually showed up in the story, but I won't say where. I tried not to hint at it too much, but there's a fourth girl that was part of their manga making group chat. For Hoge's coming and coming. If you look carefully in the story, you might be able to figure out who the fourth girl is, right? Who was the fourth member of their manga making club. But that was that. Along during this time, I was actually coming up with a alchemy story. So I was a big fan of the Atelier games. You'll notice that throughout time, I made a lot of stories. And I had a lot of stories to pull from for when I was making my first webtoon, right? And you'll see I was actually really indecisive about which story to do. This alchemy story was basically sort of like an alchemy story. It was sort of like the Atelier games, right? I'll keep it simple, but basically she had like a cute little apron, all that stuff. She had a bag of holding, all that stuff. And she didn't have a weapon, but she had a bag that she used to hit enemies with. It was very simple. She had I was drawing other people for her, so she had like a friend, right? It was very simple. She was a merchant too. She wasn't the same merchant as the other girl, right? Who I never gave a name. So yeah. A bag made of metal? No, it was just a heavy bag. Along with that too, there was other characters that showed up. Funny enough, these characters actually came back in Dire Engagement. And I say came back in quotation marks, right? I'm gonna put this in quotation marks. They came back, right? The reason was they weren't actually going to be part of Dire Engagement. The story behind them was that actually they were going to be a part of a side story. And their whole role was to kind of explain the world of Dire Engagement. What that meant was that these two characters were supposed to explain like, oh, here's how magic works in our world. And they're supposed to do it in a silly little comic, right? It was supposed to be like a 2-page story. I think there's an example in here. No, there isn't. But I think it was on the same page. But it was supposed to be like a 2-page story, like a 2-page omake, like a 2-page short, where they always explain how something works. So it's like, oh, our world is made of elementals, right? But the punchline of every story was she would always talk about how her boyfriend was terrible towards the end. So it was like, they could be talking about elements. So it's like, oh, fire element's so hot. Unlike my boyfriend who cheated on me for the 3rd time, I'll be sure to use hot fire magic on him. And like, he would always like be on the side, like sweating, like, oh my gosh, I feel so nervous for that boyfriend, right? But then, like, by the end of all the side stories, you find out that he's actually the boyfriend. And her passive aggressive on the chapters or the side stories were meant to be towards him as hints saying like, you're a piece of garbage. This is still in the works though. Like, if I ever make Dire Engagement my main story when I finish Offtask, these two are sure to come back. I love the idea of these two bantering with each other and hinting at this relationship and then ending it off where like he kind of like forgives her or something, like, or not forgives her, she forgives him because he kind of, you know, does something, right? To show that, you know, even though they banter a lot, they still like each other. Happy ending, chat, happy ending. But originally they were part of this alchemy story, as you can see. They were part of this alchemy story. Oh man, let me drink some water. This water is actually ginger ale, and it's stale. Oh, somebody followed. Chat, it's time. Welcome them. Welcome, welcome. How do I pronounce your name? Oh, how? Oh, wow. Oh, whoa. Chat, do the welcome. Okay, chat. Still ginger ale. Welcome, welcome. I hope you enjoy your stay. We're just talking about my old drawings. Thank you, Fenrir. So, thank you. There you go. There's the welcome party, chat. Yeah. I love my chat. Don't worry. Oh, well, that's just the way we welcome. Now you're one of us. You too have access to the punch. You too can also punch with us. Anybody that joins, you can punch with us. But let's get back at it. So you can see, I actually, during this time, went back to a lot of old drawings. If you guys recognize this, there's Zeke, there's Janet, there's Crank, and then there's that villain, right? I actually went back. I came back, right? And actually started redoing these characters. You got it? Yeah! Welcome, Uwu, welcome! That's no welcome. We don't Uwu here. We talk with our fist. Whoa. I'm just kidding. But yeah. You can see how, like, my art has really improved since then. We went from here to here, right? And he looks a lot more smug. And that was like what I originally kind of intended him to be. He was supposed to be like this cocky person, right? But you can see, along with that, I redrew the characters from that original fantasy story. There's Yuki, there's Hime, there's the archer, there's the kid, there's that one girl, there's Cat Girl. While I didn't really put too much design effort into them, I just kind of redrew a lot of them. And there's that merchant girl, remember her? Where was she? She was... Remember her? Like, I really liked her kind of smug and like this kind of like aura of I'm gonna make money off your detriment, right? And that's her whole gimmick, right? Is that she's trying to make money in any way she can. 50 pounds of ahoge? Yeah, you can see the ahoge grew. It used to be that. And then like, I don't know if I have a later design, but I think her ahoge is now like this. And then you can see there's the Alona cast, the characters from Alona. I redrew them as well because they were also part of the story. They were part of their own story, right? And then you can see I drew the twins. So there was a lot of redrawing, right? But you could tell that while I have improved, I didn't improve, if that makes sense. My art style really hasn't changed that much, but it has changed a lot. Eventually the hairstyle will be a hoge. I like that idea. Let's give that a try, alright? Alright, let's give her a try. So we have her right here, right? And then we have her like little happy face. We have her little hair, right? She had like a low ponytail too. I thought low ponytails were pretty cute around this time. Boom! And then she uses her ahoge to fight. She doesn't need her little battle doll. She just goes swipe. Swipe! Somebody comments on it. Until somebody comments on it. It reminded me of that one person, to kind of go off task. Hey. There was a person on Twitter that said how they were slowly on the Wikipedia page making Selene's neck longer and longer without anyone noticing until they got banned. They were doing it like 2 pixels at a time and they would re-upload it. But yeah, I went back and doing old drawings, but you saw me talking a lot about Alona. And this is where Alona started growing into its own story, right? So in Alona, I had multiple companions. There was like fairy, there was little sister, there was little girl, there was older sister, there was young lady. That's actually their names in game. You give them the names, but that's what their roles were. There was fallen angel, there was the exile, right? But then I was like, there's way too much characters, right? So eventually I started trimming it down, and it became focused on 3 characters: the young lady, the little sister, and the young girl, right? The little girl used the spear and shield. The young lady used a giant axe, and the little sister used a dual daggers, basically, right? But eventually that became a little too much, right? And the story went from stupid to full pants on head stupid. It reduced down to just the young girl and a snail. Here's the concept of the story, right? It changed from being like sort of close to Alona to an original story. So the story of it is that the main character was teaching the young girl how to do magic. We're gonna call her Alice from now on. There was a main character that was teaching Alice how to do magic, right? But in trying to learn to do magic, Alice accidentally turns the snail, or the main character, into a snail, right? And then they go on a journey together to figure out how to reverse the curse. But she just has this nail on her head. But the thing was, like, the main character was like this experienced warrior. He was a good fighter, he was good at magic, he was good at pretty much everything, right? But as a snail, he's just so much slower. So he was still able to fight, as you could tell on her head. The thing is, he can't just move fast. So he had to use Alice and had to ride Alice as a way to fight, right? And it was just this journey together of this girl and her snail. Also, don't look at this. This picture's too sussy, chat. We gotta censor this. I kept it here to make the note that I used to draw some sussy pictures. But yeah, the story reduced down. It went from being a journey about all these different characters, from young lady to older sister to younger sister. Don't look at me like that, chat. Bonk yourself. I'm say so now. To a journey about this crazy snail, right? This crazy, powerful snail, and this girl going on a journey to figure out how to turn him back human. And this was almost the story that I went with instead of Offtask. You'll see me refer back to it because this story evolved from a lot of things, and it was a story that I really enjoyed. So now you see why I marked the age of stagnation with quotation marks. Even though I didn't really grow, I really did grow. If that made sense, chat. If that made sense. Which leads into the next part, the age of focused growth. Alright, chat, have you been taking notes? Pop quiz, chat. What game was I talking about just now? This is gonna be on the test. If you guess wrong, you're timed out and banned from the channel forever. You totally had lewd drawings in your Twitter? Did I have lewd drawings in my Twitter? Oh, you're talking about my bookmarks? Oh no, I just made those bookmarks for fun. But yes, I have seen lewd drawings on Twitter, chat. Man, that's a lot of talking for fun. Look at that, chat. That's like 6 different generations. We're on season 7 or season 6, the age of focused growth. So this time has been a really boring time, and this almost became the time where I dropped drawing. And I'll tell you what kept me going. Let me see. You were gaslighting someone thinking you were drew low drawings? Oh yeah, that's right. I did say that, didn't I? Not this one though. This was the time where I started reading art books, Loomis in particular, as well as other art books like Using the Right Side of Your Brain or something like that. And I started doing nothing but practicing and practicing and practicing and practicing. Day and night, I was doing nothing but practicing. And I realized that doing this, I actually started to hate drawing. And I almost decided not to draw. Like, this was almost my breaking point because I started to read Loomis and all these other art books, and they talked about the fundamentals, and they talked a lot about the fundamentals. I realized I had no pen control. I realized I can't draw a really proper circle. I realized that I had no forms with my body. I realized I didn't understand anatomy, right? I realized I didn't know how to do overlapping perspective. And it just became overwhelming. I almost quit at this point. And you know what's the worst part? This is only less than 1% of what I did. Sometimes I would just wake up, right? And then like go to work, of course, and all that stuff. I would draw this. I would do a straight line across. Then I would draw a bunch of circles, right? And I would do that just over and over and over. I would practice gestures without actually going to depth with them. I would practice form without actually doing anything. And it became boring. I did that for like a good half year. And there was somebody there though that kind of pushed me through all that. You may have heard of them before. And I spoiled it earlier. But it was Action Kitty. Somewhere around this time, I met Action and Kitty and I met around college, right? And we became friends around then, and we became good friends after college, right? We kept in touch with each other, we shared drawings, we kept pushing each other to keep drawing and stuff, right? Action Kitty kept telling me like, wow, this is important, but I should start drawing for myself. But I was like, no, I gotta keep practicing the fundamentals. I gotta keep pounding it in my head, right? And yeah, I came to hate drawing, and I started playing more video games than drawing during this time, right? That's why I went back to this, and I put the age of focused growth, right? Because it was literally focused growth. I was really focused on growing because I was tired of being such a garbage artist. I look back at my drawings, and while I have grown as an artist, I had no fundamentals. Even now, you can see that I'm still loose on my fundamentals, right? That said, though, during this time, I was actually focused a lot more on my OCs, right? So during this time, I drew a lot more OCs than I ever before. And this is just like a little like sampling of it. Some of them are still like fan art, like Cherno. Funny thing about this character, she was actually to a visual novel idea, right? So I had a visual novel idea about like, I don't know if you guys seen it, but Tyranno Builder. I was thinking like, okay, what if I made a silly, simple story about this girl in a dinosaur outfit that wants to make a visual novel? It was supposed to be a romance thing, and it was like one of those things like focusing on work versus having fun. How if you focus on work too much, you actually will never get anything done because you're not inspired. If you focus on fun, you get inspired, but you never get anything done. So like the visual novel was supposed to teach you that you had to find a middle ground and focus on fun and working to make sure that you get inspired to do things, you know? But I focus a lot on OCs. So you can see I drew a lot of Alona, right? Which really begs the question why I really didn't do Alona as my story. You can see, chat, look, the Ahoge! The Ahoge was bigger than ever before! Where is she from before? Where's her Ahoge? Where is she? Her Ahoge was like that, and now it's like that. I can't wait to draw her in Dire Engagement, where her Ahoge comes back. You can tell I like Ahoges. Oh, here's another story I had. Okay, so this story was called My Roommate is the Devil, right? And basically it was like about this shape-shifting devil that is friends with this person, or like lives with them, right? And then like he basically tries to gaslight everybody around him into thinking that this person's horrible, right? And of course there's this angel girl that also shows up trying to stop the devil from doing the devil things, right? And then like it always leads to misunderstanding, but it was like this silly idea where basically he shapes or changes forms every chapter into something, and it always causes shenanigans, right? So in this chapter he changes to like the form of a little girl, and then like the angel comes in saying like, what kind of shenanigans are you on to now? And then she tries to say like, no, he's the villain, right? And then she calls the cops. Something like that. It was like a simple idea. I do want to come back to that again, but it was this idea that really didn't develop more than just like a couple silly things, right? Whew, let me go drink. Still ginger ale chat. But you'll notice too, everything that I've shown you so far is colorless, which is a very large contradiction to what I do now. Like everything I do now has colors, from the webcomic to doodles to illustration. Even like my doodles have simple colors. And that's because back when I was starting, I actually was scared to do colors. Action Kitty was kind of rooting me on to kind of do colors. So I started practicing a lot more colors during this time. As you can see, there was a lot more colors that I actually started doing. I started practicing at first with hand, because I thought that if I learn how to color by hand, I can learn how to color by computers. So I have a lot of like drawings. Also, you'll notice this is a later drawing because Aine has short hair. Aine originally had long hair and stuff, right? That Neptune's pretty good? No, it's not. I can see everything wrong with it, but yeah. Look at Nep though, look at this Nep! I was a big fan of Neptune. Off-brand Neptune? Yeah, so I was just like, what's it called? I was practicing a lot with colors during this time. Which brings us to our next era, chat. I hope you're following along. The Aine drawing, off-brand Aine. This is fake Aine for now. This is fake Aine. Other Aine, you can see like Aine's design has changed. Oh, 1 second, there's the doorbell. I gotta leave my soul. Okay, I'm back, chat. It's so hot outside. Oh my gosh, it's 115 out there, chat. I just went out there for a split second to see who it was, and I started melting. Oh. Alright, chat. But yeah, let's go ahead and move on to the next arc. Alright, chat. Hopefully you're still following along, because we have entered the digital age. The age of doodle. So after the age of focused growth, I realized I really hated drawing that way. I know that's what you're supposed to do, but I really hated it. It's only 76 Fahrenheit, but 89%. Oh, that's gross. Oh my gosh, I feel for you. It's 115 here, but it's not like humid. Like I'm sweating and I have a fan on me, but yeah. Cactus is melting. Alright. Here's when things got fun or stupid in a way. Because during this time, I started taking requests online. During this time, I started doing doodles for other people and all that stuff, right? This is a very long age because... actually, I'll explain it later. You're dying? Dang. So during this time, I decided like I don't want to just do focus drawing anymore. I was gonna do doodles because I'm realizing the best way to learn to draw is actually to have fun. And I joke about it, it's like, I make stupid jokes about it, but the real drawing lesson is the fun that we had along the way. And then I did a lot of fun things. I did a lot of fun practice. You can see I did a lot of Neptunia, right? Look at those honka-donka badonka-donk, chat! Wow! But I drew a lot of Offtask, right? I did a lot of practice drawing. Look, I was even doing the thing where it's like the strong hair girl thing, the strong wind slick back hair, before strong wind slick back hair, except with hamburger, right? So I was drawing a lot of dumb things, right? I was just having fun. Oh yeah, here, remember when I said that Proto Male was a yandere? There you go. Also, you can see her design slightly change. Her hair is actually what Remy's hair look like now, but she still had like the thickness in her hair. Yandere. There's a lot of like off-task here. Like this is when I started doing off-task as silly fun things. I'm here to play video games! Ah! Right? So we had a lot of like silly things. Like you could see them being friends with each other and stuff, but I still didn't understand drawing. You could tell I really didn't still understand how to draw. Look, chat! Aine Aine body pillow. If you notice too, like, this is still the age of Aine long hair. Aine long hair, right? Poor Aine's bleeding her ears out. No. Aine's in the, what's it called? Yeah, Aine's the one that's singing. See, she has the braid. It's actually male! That's how my karaoke night's gonna go, chat. I hope you're looking forward to a karaoke night. Yeah, but look, chat, do you want your Aine body pillow? I'm telling you, there was a time where I was like saying, should I give Aine Zetai Ryoki or should I not? In the end, you know what I got. No Zetai Ryoki. Right? But I was drawing OCs, stuff, silly drawings here and there, just for practice, right? Where is that one drawing? You can see I was also experimenting with Aine's hair. Like, I was thinking about, like, what if it was shorter? Or what if it was longer, right? Look! New merch ideas? Heck yeah. You can see there's that merchant girl, but she's a Hoge-less. This kills the merchant girl. I think this is like the time I got my first Wacom tablet too, so I was practicing. So you can see like Aine had like a variety of different changes. Same with Remy. This is where Remy got her thick eyebrows. Like I was trying to define the characters for who they are. They went from, let me see, they went from the original drawings that you saw back then. They went from this and this to this. Night cup? What do you mean night cup? Look, chat. Don't judge me. Speaking of merch though, look at this! Aine and Nendroids and Remy Nendroid! Do you like the idea of an Aine Nendroid, chat? Do you want a Remy Nendroid? I was like, wouldn't that be fun? Wouldn't it be fun if we were friends? Also, I drew that one girl from, what's it called? Skullgirls? Skullgirls? I would too, honestly. I made it super quirky though, like Aine is just like floating and she's just standing. You want both of them? Me too! One day, chat, one day, I'm gonna learn how to do my own merch. We're gonna make it happen, even if it's just acrylics. Imagine, chat, acrylic merch, acrylic stand, where it's a fake Nendroid. But you can see too, like, I'm not as cringing as much as I used to, because, like, I really have started to shape my own art style as the time went on. As different generations happen, my art style started to form. I think it started to form most on my tablet, when I started drawing my tablet. You can see I started playing with, like, actually making manga panels. What are you reading, Remy? Ah! Don't leave me! Look how Aine's running away. She's just, like, flying away. And then, like, Yuri moment, chat. Is this what you're looking for in Offtask? You're waiting for a Yuri moment? Remy chases Aine. Aine's like, no! Then they trip, and then they fall on top. That Yuri moment, chat. But yeah, I practice more colors. We have Uzuki, we have Konata, right? Still a fan of Idolmaster during this time. I was also practicing Aine and Remy's colors too, so this is when I started figuring out what colors Aine and Remy would be. Because before this, Aine and Remy actually had no hair color. They essentially were just black and white. I was actually talking to Action Kitty around this time too, saying like, no, I don't want a color. I just want everything to be in black and white. Man, they were right. I was gonna eventually be in color. But look, aww, Aine and Remy are cute, aren't they? They're such a cute, iconic duo. Name more of an iconic duo. See? And the funny thing too, in this picture, you can see Remy used to be the one that actually knew how to cook. Aine was the one that used to be the slob. But I thought it would be funnier if I had Remy actually be very incompetent and Aine be more competent, because technically Aine stays home a lot, so she has more time to cute. These are cute drawings. I know, this is a time where my art style started to grow into itself, right? Look, there's even a Yukari. Like, even Aine's hair, like, you could tell Aine's hair kept on growing from different styles, right? You see how it's a little different, right? But I still was drawing, like, other OC stuff. Which reminds me, look, I even have a Believe in Yourself. Which reminds me, let me see if I can find it. Like, I did a lot of practice. I did a lot of practice for sure, right? A lot of practice of different drawings. Look, there's that snail idea, right? The idea of the Alona with the snail, right? Give me a second. I'm trying to find it. I love these two dorks, chat. I just really wish I had more time to work on Offtask, but I love these two dorks. But the thing is, you'll notice too. Oh, before I go on to that, back then, Remy actually used to smoke because Action Kitty suggested I should give them more character flaws. So Remy used to be a smoker, and Aine used to be the one to kind of stop her from smoking. So Aine was always like, you know, stop drinking, stop smoking, right? So here's like an example of that old Remy design where Remy used to just be a smoker and just like, you know, had bad vices. She's like just a drinker now and off task, but she used to be much worse, right? But Aine was always there to kind of keep her on track, which is kind of cute. Cute Aine. Where is it though? Oh yeah. Here's Liam from Dire Engagement. That was like the first instance of Liam because during this time I actually came up with Dire Engagement, and you can see that I started conceptualizing this idea of a marriage story. So during this time was when Dire Engagement started becoming a thing, during my doodle age, right? You can see a lot of figuring out what Mila was. And then you can see like that size comparison. I always like that idea of like the short girl with the tall guy. Sort of like my senpai is annoying. One second, I gotta charge my phone. Because I think I always like that idea of Mila being like the mouth here. Oh no, don't worry. Like originally Liam was not supposed to talk. Liam was supposed to go throughout the whole story without saying a word, and Mila was supposed to be talking for him the whole time, right? So it was like one of those things like this big attitude in such a small girl, right? But I was practicing that fantasy stuff. Short and annoying, my favorite. But chat, here comes one of my craziest ideas that I never did. Back then, chat, I wanted to make a card game. If Action Kitty was able to be on microphone, they could tell you how crazy detailed some of this stuff was and how much ideas I had for this thing, right? I was really influenced by card games during this time, and I was coming up with rules for a card game. This is only like half of it, right? It was the idea of equipment cards, character cards, main cards, sub cards, resource cards, right? And it was the idea of like these character cards with attack cards, right? It was so much things. Also, look, Aine in a hot dog outfit. You could tell it never became a thing, and there was more notes in this, but I saw this and it just came back to me, right? I thought it would be fun to make a card game, and maybe in the future, I think it would be fun to make a card game. Like, that's a very far future thing. Maybe a VTuber card game? Huh? Huh? Any VTubers that want to be, what's it called, part of my card game? Already more detailed than Pokemon cards. Also, look at this cute little comic. Boo! Spooky! I'm not Aine. Also, Aine in a hot dog outfit. Aine in a hot dog outfit's my favorite Aine. Let's see, what else do I have in here? Oh yeah! So, let me see. There was a... Whoops. Action Kitty actually helped me with the original design of Mayo, because I was talking to Action Kitty about how much I didn't care for Mayo's current design. So we worked together to come up with a more likable design, because like during this time, Aine and Remy were both adults, right? So I didn't know what to do with Mayo. I didn't know if I want to keep her a schoolgirl or if not. In the end, I decided to keep her a schoolgirl because like she was supposed to be like this. She went from being more yandere, soft-spoken, and you know, not really doing much to becoming impressionable, right? And then like Action Kitty came up with this design that I really, really love, like of this innocent looking kind of girl who looks very impressionable. She looks very easy to impress, right? So like right here, like you see, look angry, Mayo, grrr. Originally Mayo also had like these like pink cheeks, right? But some of these elements still stuck with her, like her love for music. Oh yeah, before I go on, Offtask didn't used to be about making a manga. It used to be making a video game. And Mayo was supposed to actually be the musical person, Aine was supposed to be the graphical person, and Remy used to be the person that did the computer science, right? So they all had their own role in making a game. The problem was I didn't actually have experience in making a game, so I couldn't say how the story would unfold because I didn't know what I was doing. So it shifted from making a game to making a manga, which I think kind of works for it better because the story has a lot of characters that can provide insight, and a lot of it is just like some tips and advice that I heard, tips and advice that I learned. So Offtask has really became something different than what it used to be. But yeah, that's that. That's what age are we on? Ooh, I'm running out of ages, chat. We're getting close to the end. All right, that was the age of the doodle. Now comes the crazy one, the age of stories. So you guys already seen how many stories I had, right? Oh boy, this is a long TED talk. Let me drink some water. How are you guys enjoying the story so far? Let me go, what's it called? Drink some water. You know what's the funny thing? This is probably like only 1% of all the drawings I've done. And there's a lot more yabe drawings. In fact, on those doodles I showed you, you'll notice there's a lot of white spots. There was a lot of yabe drawings. And the reason was because the age of doodle was also the age of edge and crazy. So I would draw like lewd drawings for silly fun just to like make people laugh, right? I think there was one where I had like a droopy like eggplant thing like that. Then I had like another one where I had like I had a dragon in a bikini. Like, I don't know how to put it. It was a dark age, chat. I'm not a say-so during that time. Granted, they weren't like pornographic, right? That's for later, chat. That's for later. As you can see, I wrote down that the final form is the age of porn, right? But during this time was like when I was a lot more loose, and I was just drawing things to make people laugh, and crude, edgy, and crazy humor was what made people laugh. You know what I mean? Pretty interesting so far. I'm glad you're enjoying it. All right, so let me get back to it. So we come to the next age, and it's called the age of stories, right? So during this time, I wanted to make a manga. I wanted to make a comic. I was set on my stone that I wanted to make a comic. And you can see this picture is a perfect show of my conflict. I had off-task ideas on one side, where it's like silly ideas of slice of life, silly girls doing silly thing. And I had Alona on the other side, the idea of this fantasy slice of life, right? Right? And this kind of carried over to a lot of things, where I kept making like these like small snippets of Offtask, where there were cute little slice of life side stories like this, right? To fantasy stories with Alona, right? During this time too, I was experimenting with different kind of formats of Alona. I was making like a lot of 4 comas and stuff like that. You could see that I was also doing this on paper because I was sort of like, I wouldn't say elitist, but I was like, I want to make sure I draw my comics just like the manga artists do. I'm going to draw it on paper. What a big mistake that was, chat. I have so much paper of comic designs. You can also see I was also experimenting with dire engagement during this time. These were the 3 main stories that I was leaning towards: dire engagement, Alona, and Offtask. Funny enough, Offtask wasn't originally called Offtask. Where is it? It was called Bokestra, and I cut it off right here, but it was called Bokestra. Don't ask me why it's called Bokestra. It's such a dumb name, but it used to be just a 4-coma comic, right? That's why like I make a lot of 4 comas for Offtask. I wanted it to be more, but it used to be just a simple 4-coma comic that told a story. Sort of like Wa, sort of like that one story about relationships like middle school relationships, it's one of those things that really changed over time, right? There's a lot of off-task here, you could see. I mean, the concept is still the same of like these girls doing off-task things, but originally it used to be a different format. But like I said though, I also did that with Ilona. As you can see, this one was experimenting with actual manga pages. Like, I actually took a piece of paper and I folded it into 8 pieces, and that's what I would do to make these like pseudo manga pieces. You missed it? I was talking about how I was drawing lewd things, Sorty. You missed it. I was showing all the lewd drawings I was making, right, Fenrir? I showed the age of Edge and the age of Crazy, and I showed all the lewd drawings I made. But now I'm on the age of Say So no longer, chat, will I do that. Missed the best part? Played the copy out. They were really lewd. But yeah, I had a lot of Ilona comics. I had a lot of off-task comics, right? I had a lot of concepts, right? Whoops. And this goes even deeper, right? Because all the way up until I released Offtask for the very first time. Let me see, where is it? Give me a second. I'm looking through my folders. Before I released Offtask for the very first time, I started off actually with one-shots ideas, right? Let me see. I have like some silly one-shot idea. This one was called Fever Dream. So this one was a fun idea where basically the main character wanted to be a manga artist, but he can't come up with anything. Anytime he tries to draw something, he has not enough time. He feels strapped for time. He wishes that he could have more time, right? And then suddenly while he's in school and he fell asleep at his desk, a nuclear explosion happened, right? And then he found himself floating in the endless space, right? And he realized he had all the time in the world. I don't know if I have... I don't have the rest of the story. But he realized he had all the time in the world, right? And he was floating around space and realized that with his pen, he can draw. But the problem was he didn't have paper. So he had to draw on his body, his comic story idea, right? So he drew and he drew and he drew. And he eventually came up with a masterpiece of a story, all drawn on his body. But the thing was, he realized that with the world being destroyed and being alone, to have all the time to make a story, there was nobody else to celebrate the story with him. Like the fact that he finished it, the fact that it was fun. And he started going crazy. He was like, I wish the world would be back to where it was, right? But then it turned out he fell out of his bed. It turned out it was a fever dream, and during the whole time he was actually drawing on his body and he's completely naked. His sister walks in and then he sees her and then he was like, you gotta read this story. It's the most amazing story I ever made. Look at my butt. That was the best part. And that's how the story ends. Hope it wasn't made on with a Sharpie. It was just a marker, but yeah. It was supposed to be the idea like a fever dream makes you do silly things. I never got around to finishing it, but this was like an original concept for it because I was practicing one-shots. Here's another one-shot idea. Let me see. I have a whole bunch of one-shot idea. So here's another one-shot idea. This was the one I told you guys about. The isekai of the guy that basically found himself in another world, but it turned out he is powerless, right? Gotta hand it to him. That's a smart idea. Yeah! Drawing on your body. But the thing is, like, he's very powerless, and even though he's fighting a slime, he can't do anything, right? So basically the idea was that he found himself isekai'd, but everything in the world is actually dangerous. He has no powers, he's just a regular human, right? In fact, he gets his arm cut off and all that stuff, right? He can't heal, he can't cast magic, he's a very powerless person. And then the whole story concept is that he wants to go home. So yeah, that one's a very simple one. I haven't gone too deep in that one. I might come back to it in the future. Let me see. Let me make sure some of these aren't yabe though, chat. I gotta make sure you guys don't see anything yabe. I had a Common Rider one. What is this one? Is this what I think it is? Oh, chat! This is what I think it is! It's the Yandere story! It's the one I had a thought of. Okay, chat. So I had this story, right? Do I have any other panels? I don't. So let me open this one instead. Alan's neurons telling everyone to calm down. I know. So I don't have many panels of it, but let me show you the ones I like. Basically, the story is about this girl, right? This guy and this girl. The guy is ignoring the girl, right? Because the girl's like very strongly coming on to him, right? She's like, oh, I want to go hang out with you. And he's like, no, I don't want to hang out with you at all. Or he ignores her, right? And basically, it keeps going on like this where the guy completely ignores the girl until the girl breaks down. It's like, why do you keep ignoring me, right? But it turns out the guy explains that she's not real. And she's a fragment of his imagination, right? And he just wants her to go away. This was during the time when I found out about tulpas, right? And I thought about like, what if a tulpa story went wrong? And the girl was like, oh, I understand. I'm just a part of you, right? And she's like holding his face. But then she starts digging her hands to his face, right? Because if she's not real, she can basically like, you know, do anything. So she's trying to be like, I see, so I'm not real, right? And it's like, if I'm not real and I'm a part of you, then I could just take control of you, right? And we could be together forever, right? We could be together forever. And none of your friends had to stand in my way, right? So the whole ending is where she takes control of his body and kills all his friends and the girl that he likes, right? And they sit together in a room alone, right? He's completely broken because he can't really do anything, and she just holds hands with him and they're together forever, right? While he's like lamenting the life that he has with this girl. He's like he's just, you know, stuck with her. I really wanted to draw this as a demented story. I thought it would be pretty fun. Chat, do you like my yandere? Isn't she cute? Do you wish that she digs her hand into you? Like she's like digging her hand into his brain. I know that's not how Tulpa works, but I thought it'd be fun. That would be good for a one-shot. You know what? Maybe I should make a one-shot. I can't make one-shots because I don't really have much, what's it called, time, but yeah. Spooky cute? Yeah, it's spooky cute, chat. Oh! I have some stuff here too. Alright, so Action and Kitty and I kept encouraging ourselves to draw together. So eventually we got into this competition of making a comic. So we would come up with a one-sentence comic and we would make it into 4 pages, right? So here's some story concepts that we actually came up with. Alright, let me go skip through these ones. So the first one is about a girl who comes across an injured boy, right? So basically, it's a very simple thing. And this is actually when I started practicing composition for mangas, right? So basically, it's just, as it explains, a girl comes across an injured boy. There's no explanation to why he's injured, but it's basically that the boy, you know, boy's injured. And we had to make 4 pages of comic with it. So you can see it's like, oh, are you okay? So she tries to help him, right? And she's like, I don't want your help, right? And then boom. Don't worry, I'm a healer. It'll be fine. And she's like pouring like the medicine on his like wounds, right? And then she realizes he has a collar, right? And that's where the story ends. So like the little omake at the end is like, oh, that's a really fashion trend. I'm a healer, but yeah. Here's another one. This one's about basically 2 characters confessing their love to each other, right? That was the prompt that Action Kitty and I had. So it's like, my spring has come. I just have to say it. Please go out with me. And she was like, fiddle, fiddle. And it's like, I'm sorry. I'm late. It's like, no problem, I haven't been along. Why bring that up now? And it's like, haha, haha. So, and yeah, go ahead, you first, right? And they never really confess. It was supposed to be like these short story ideas that never go anywhere. That was the concept of these. Right, here's another one. It was a Galaxy Police Girl. Basically about the bad ending. The prompt
is about basically a person escaping their handcuffs. Finally, I caught you. Interdimensional police, something like that. Now you can face the full extent of the law. And he's like, ha 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 ha. You're right, you got me. I wouldn't expect less from the Galaxy's best marshal. Oh, please. Right? And it's like, I read your reports. Your charms won't work on me. Of course I can never outsmart you, but I can do this. Right? And he tries to break it and snap. Where'd you get these flashy cuffs, Chief? Good grief, right? Okay? Okay, and it's like, those are the latest tech made from Jovians of the Galaxy Prime. They're crafted with dark matter and shaped by gravity, intense pressure only to second to that of a black hole. They are the most expensive cuff money can buy, right? And it's like, oh really, right? He has the gun. I hope they give refunds, right? Oh damn it. So that's that concept, right? Bad ending. He just slips out of it, right? Oh look, Offtask! It's like, Offtask is a concept too. Look what I found! Can't you knock like a normal person? I also was experimenting with screen tone because I didn't want to do colors. You'll notice I didn't do colors, chat! And so like, oh, I was doing it from left to right. Alright, isn't it cute? Where did you find it? On the street. Bleh! Out. I think that's the last of the one-comas ideas. What's this? Oh yeah, I was doing practice. Let me see. I think that's the last of the one-shots. Let me see. Oh! Here's another fun one. The concept of this one is coming across a captive princess, right? So we have that was the prompt. So I was drawing this. I had the dog girl, and then I had like the mage behind. So like the dog girl was supposed to be like the powerful one of the two, and the mage is like the coward, right? And it's like rattle, rattle, rattle. And he was like, "Hey sis, I heard something from in here." And she's like, "Hmm? It sounded like metal chain. I didn't see anything when I passed by." And it's rattle, show yourself, right? And it's like, what's it called? It's like it's basically like a dragon princess, right? And she opens her eyes, and it's like, 2 more heroes have shown up. Will I finally be free of these fetters, right? You can see the tail wagging. And that's where that chapter ends. So these are all like short story ideas during the story arc. You can see, like, when I said that this was going to be the age of the story, there was a lot of storytelling that we did. Dragon doggy? Oh, we gotta fast forward. I'm looking at the time. Let me see. Let me go close all these drafts. Oh my gosh, chat. Everything's a mess. I'm a mess, chat. You don't understand. Alright, alright. Let's close all this. Chat, I made a terrible mistake. Can I close all this at the same time? No. You know what? Let's just save it all. I don't care. It's been a while since I came to these drawings. Oh, they're super big drawings though. Alright, we'll have to fast forward. You know how the story age ends. Well, sorta, because I jumped between stories and I eventually landed on Offtask. I jumped between Dire Engagement, I jumped between another story that I wasn't able to show called Static, and I jumped between Offtask and Alona. In the end, you know the true answer was that I came up with Offtask, and that led to the story of Offtask. Next was the Age of Drawing. You know what, I'm gonna fast forward because I'm out of time. And then we had the Age of VTubers, then we had the Age of VTubing. We're currently right here. I'm sorry that I might have to cut out a lot of it, but the Age of Drawing has been something you guys probably been seeing on my Twitter, because the Age of Drawing was actually when I started posting things online. You can see all the way up until here, I did not post any of my art. Everything has been a secret. Everything has been like kept down on the lay low. It wasn't until recently that I actually started showing my art, right? But during this time too, to help improve, I had the concept idea of 1,000 drawings. Have you guys ever heard? Let me drink some water. Have you guys ever heard the concept that a person needs to draw 1,000 drawings to master the form? I took that quite literally. So I did a lot of like things, like from fan books, right? Time to make that challenge again next year. So I did fan books. I tried to make my own Granblue fan book, and I have a whole bunch of art that I could show from it. Like, you don't understand. Everything I showed you is just 1% of what I drew. So I have the, what's it called? I have these drawings where the focus of each page was on a specific character. So like this one's Charlotta, this one's I forgot what her name was. There's Zoe, there's that one girl, there's Clarice, like there's oh chat, don't look at that yabe drawing. 1,000 Ines. Maybe. Like I think it'd be better if I did this. Granblue, yeah, I drew a lot of Granblue, chat. You don't understand. I was a really, let me see, which one is it? I was a really big fan of Granblue. Alright, let me go shrink this so you can actually see the whole drawing. There you go. Like, I made a lot of Granblue drawings, and I wanted to make my own Granblue fanzine. 1,000 Ines, 1,000 Remis. I mean, at this point, I probably did draw 1,000 Ines and Remis. So you can see Lyria. Look at that Lyria. Isn't she cute? My friend hates Lyria. You can see, what's it called? We have her. I forgot some of these names, right? We have, well, chat. Don't look at this one. This one's pretty yabe. Chat. Ooh. You know, I need to make our saucier drawings, chat. That brings me to the end of my timeline, where we draw the age of porn. We are here. We need to move over here. Maybe not the age of porn. Maybe the age of sauce. Saucy. But yeah, I made so many drawings. The age of culture. A lot of these drawings I shown. Whoa, chat. Don't look at that one on the left, on the right. But that's her design. That's her design in game, chat. I couldn't help it. I had to draw her as she was designed. So you can see, like, I made a lot of, like, drawings based off Granblue. Oh, that one's from Dragalia Lost. The one on the left. Fake Granblue. Narumaya, right? Right? Like, there was a lot of drawings that I made. And you can see, like, when my art form actually started to form. Like, this was starting to be around the time that 1,000 drawings, like, when I actually started becoming, more confident in my drawing skills. You know what I mean? Like, there's so many drawings here. Let me see. I have another book, too. I actually made a side B for males. Because I thought, like, people are gonna say, Alan, you're a pervert for only drawing girls. So I decided to make a side B for males. So I was making a male version of the Granblue boys too. I didn't get as many boys, as you can see. But yeah, I'm not a pervert, chat. Let's see what else I have here. Oh, there's Inktober too. Inktober was a thing. I don't know if I should show that though. It's been a while. Let's see. 99% female, 0.1% male. Look, chat, I'm not a pervert. Let me see, where's my Project 1000? Project 1000 was my favorite of the drawing. Here we go. So I have 2021. This is 2020. So my Project 1000 was the idea of improving by drawing 1,000 drawings, chat. You just go to the Yoko Taro reason. I just really like girls. You know what, chat? I want to be just like Yoko Taro. So my drawing 1000 was my goal, where I would draw 1,000 drawings in a year. This first one only got me to 500. I think it was 500, but you can see, like, because of doing 1,000 drawings, my art style really grew into itself. What's the context of this? I don't remember the context of this drawing, chat. Bet. Bet. It's a fair reason. It is a fair reason. But you can see, I did draw 1,000 Ine and Revi. And look, Uncle! Like, Uncle was part of the growth. I just didn't show the part where we designed Uncle. But you can see, so many things. Don't look at that, right, chat? Don't look at those legs. They're yabe. You can see as time went on, I drew a lot of Ainan Remy. Menacing Bep. Look, there's that Pokemon too. Oh, chat. Oh, this is getting to Yabe territories. Chat, don't look. Don't look at those legs. And was also experimental character designs, right? So yeah. I have about 10 folders worth of 50 drawings each. I saw that Remy pose. What Remy pose? What Remy pose? Oh, you're talking about this one? But yeah. So I have about 10 folders of that. I didn't make it to 1,000, sadly. But I got pretty close. Just a part above the Yabe. It's a Yabe. Oh, you mean this? Which one is that? I don't see a chat. Am I gonna get banned from it, chat? Am I gonna get banned? I don't remember what I had here. Alright, but yeah. I have 2 series of that. That was 2020. Above, not below. You know what? I don't remember. If I get banned, chat, it's your fault. Screenshot taken? No! Chat, I've been caught red-handed with my pants down. You've seen the truth. But you can see it started off with Offtask, but as time went on, it went from just being Offtask to being... Oh, I can't show that, chat. I can't show that! I made, you know that one picture of the Mahou Shoujo Lyrica or something like that? The one where the... Here, let me show you. I'm not going to show you the drawing because it's definitely yabe. But do you remember that one where it had like the girl like on the bed, right? Right? She's like this. And the other girl is like holding her down like this. And then she's like, somebody spots her and she was like, ah! Like that. Do you remember that picture from that one anime? I never saw the anime. I just know that picture because it was a meme. Do you guys know what I mean? Like it was like a maid girl too. Like she was doing it to her maid, and she was like, the maid was like, "Oh no, I don't want this to happen," right? And then like the girl was forcing herself on her, right? You guys know what I'm talking about? I forgot what that anime was called. It was like something based off the Fate Grand Order series. Gotta share it on Discord. Oh, what is it called? Let's see. Fate Mahou Shoujo. Oh no. What was her name? Oh, here we go. Ilia. Mahou Shoujo Ilia. Here, I'll post it on there because it's not actually as bad as I make it sound to be. But I made a drawing based on that drawing and it came out looking pretty bad. It was like a scene in the anime. Pinned? Let's see. Ilia. Oh gosh. I wish somebody knew. Somebody doesn't know? Let's see. Maid? Maybe if I put maid? This anime was very, very sussy. Like, this anime was super sussy McCussy. It was something like this. You know what? Maybe I can't post this on my Twitter. In fact, chat, just look this up, alright? I mean, don't look it up if you don't want to see something sussy. But I never saw it. I never saw the anime either. But if you type this up, you'll find it, chat. Alright? Discord? I can't. I don't want my Discord to be compromised, chat. Because of this silly anime, chat. But I made a picture based on that. Because I thought it would be funny. And it was with Gura and Ame. Should I show this? Do you think I could get banned for this? Oh yeah, I could get banned for this. They're in full clothes though. They're fully clothed though. I can't get banned for this, right? I can't get banned for this, right? It was based on the thing that Ame was talking about, like she was saying like small Ame and child Ame, right? It's alright? Okay, chat. Just for a split second, okay? If I get banned, if I get canceled, this is your fault. Should I? Should I? I'm weighing my options, chat. Oh gosh. Oh, this is also the age of gorilla. Alright, chat. I'm gonna do it for a split second. This is when I actually started doing a lot of Hololive drawing. Like, this is the age I did a whole bunch of Hololive drawing. Okay? Alright? In fact, let me do this. Okay? We're gonna put it in the studio. I'm so scared of getting canceled, chat. Whoops. There you go. I'm gonna do this, chat. It looks even worse from afar. Okay. There you go. Granted, they're fully clothed, chat. They're fully clothed. This is probably like one of the most yabe thing I drew and showed to other people. Cancel Alan? No. This is also based on the fact that Ame told the story of how Gura gave her a bunch of lemons. I did a lot of silly meme images during this time. Oh, there's like a lot of drawings too you guys never got a chance to see. Look, there's an Ikadachi! Oh, do you remember the Ikadachis, chat? I miss Ikadachi. Oh, do you remember this? What the funk did you... Wait, what the heck did you say about me, you little taco? I'll have you know I graduated top of my class in the Ina Academy, and I've been involved in numerous secret raids of the Nether, and I have over 300 confirmed SSR draws. I miss the age of Ina Gorilla. But yeah, you know what's a funny thing? This is actually the original Ina Gorilla. And it was because I had the idea of, like, when she did the Anya stream. When she streamed with Anya, she was mentioning about gorillas. And I was like, you know what? What if I drew Anya cute and Ina as a gorilla? And then that eventually evolved into just Ina Gorilla. So originally, it was supposed to have Anya in it. Ina Gorilla and Ikadachi were nice. Yeah, I missed the Ikadachis. Let's see, what's over here? Man, I had a lot of weird drawings. Oh look, chat! The first conceptualization of Alan LaFell. This is when I was talking with Action Kitty about how should I design Alan LaFell. Originally, you can see he used to have like a pencil on his hat. He used to have like a palette, right? He had Noah Hoge. This kills the Alan, chat. He used to be hatless. These are some never before seen drawings, chat. Never before seen. Let's see what else do I have here. But yeah, I think I need to jump off. Let me see, where's the original? Let me see if there's anything of note. This dies. So, as you may know, I am in the, like, it was the age of VTubers for a while. I really focused really hard on drawing a lot of VTubers because I really love drawing their designs. Ina, Ame, Gura, Calliope, Kiara. I had all kinds of like different doodles of them, and you've seen them because they were on my Twitter and other places, right? I had all kinds of things too, like, I won't lie, I used to post on a certain website. I'll just say that. Thank you for advertising my Twitter. Sorta, you should be a mod. And I used to post some pretty, like, what's it called? Things to make people laugh, right? But I always posted anonymously. Wait a second, why is it the Twitch link? Huh? Wait a second, is the Twitch link the Twitter link? Huh? Chat, this is a little awkward. Go to my Twitter. That's a little weird. But I had a lot of drawings, like the age of the VTuber. I made a lot of fun drawings. I made a lot of silly drawings and pushed myself to making all kinds of silly things, right? There was so much VTuber content, And if anything, Action Kitty got me to keep drawing. VTubers got me to pretty much have fun. There was a lot of things that I drew that people reacted to, and it made me just really happy to see it, you know? I really like the idea of like people seeing my drawings, and this is when I started posting a lot more. So many silly drawings, so many silly memes, so many silly things. It just like everything. It's like Hololive drawing was like a defining part of my what's it called? Of my drawing career. And it's not like it didn't really like, you know, boost me to the sky or anything, but it was really fun and really full of life. I just kept having ideas after ideas after ideas, right? Remember those bonk emotes or those coupons that Ame used to do? That's right, we had those. And then it pushed me to draw even better, right? It pushed me to actually start making like full illustrations, like full big drawings. I know I'm just tossing a bunch of drawings one after another, but I want to say Hololive really pushed me to really become a better artist. Like I tried so many things that I would never do before, right? All because of this silly squid girl and her pet octopus. Ripsana, I know. And I think you guys could know where I am now, right? I think you guys seen it before, but I'm literally right here on the age of VTubing. And while I haven't been able to draw as much Hololive stuff, I have been drawing a lot of stuff for my own VTubing stuff, right? From overlays to animations, right? Literally, I have a buff animation in the work, right? I'm drawing other VTubers and stuff like that. Like, I know I'm going through the last few parts really fast, but there's so much things to it. This is 1,000 years, and the worst part about it, Sorty, this is only 1% of everything. There's so much things that I've drawn that, you know, everything's relating to VTubing nowadays, but there's so many like, there's so many things I've drawn over the years, story ideas, like things that I had as conceptualized, all the lewd drawings, chat, all the super lewd drawings. You also put them right into the trash? You're in the trash? Like, it's crazy. Like, I won't lie. I think if there's anything you guys could take from my TED Talk today, you see people's drawings on the surface. You see where they are now, right? You see things like this and say, wow, they're a pretty good artist. Or you see things like, wow, I wish I could draw like that, right? But the reality is, I didn't get like that overnight. I wish I got like that overnight, right? There were so many times that I wish I got like that overnight. The age of stagnation where I tried to grow. The age of focused growth where I forced myself to grow. The age of doodle where I just had fun, right? And then everything afterwards. Like, there was all this that nobody has seen until now. This is all the stuff that people see now. Everybody has their own journey. It takes a long time and a lot of commitment and a lot of dedication to be an artist. And the thing is, it's not about the lessons you learn, but really it is the fun that you have along the way. Like, if I didn't have as much fun as I did, if I didn't have the people rooting for me along the way, if the people didn't laugh at my Hololive drawings and like made me laugh at the same time, I don't know. I probably wouldn't be here, chat. And I'm gonna say something a little bit more darker and less like happy. But when I went through my old sketchbook, there was a time where I wrote a letter to myself, a letter of fear and sadness, right? A letter of like, I will never make it, and like I feel despair. It was during my edgy days, right? But I really felt like that for a while. But I look back at that letter, and I look back at the letter I wrote 5 years after that, about how like I do get better, I do improve, and I just had to keep going. I think that's the thing that we all have to keep in mind. No matter what you want to do, chat, no matter where you want to go with your life, there's gonna be ups, there's gonna be a lot of downs, right? You're gonna move forward though, and you have to keep going forward. Because the moment you give up is the moment that you really truly have lost. sure that you might have to put things on the back burner. I put things on the back burner all the way up until here. But just keep going. Thank you for joining me for my TED Talk. I wish I could have shown you more, but yeah, chat, this is the next phase of my life right here. The age of saucy, the age of culture, the age of hooba booba. It was a large talk, but it was a lot of fun. I hope you guys had as much fun as I did, actually. Let's go to just chatting. Ooh, man, I'm gonna drink so much water and soda after this because, what's it called? That was a lot of talking. It was very good. I hope I inspired you though, chat. I know some people are still early in their journey of life, right? I'm still pretty early too, because even though my art feels the same way, like I still feel my art is still not good enough. I feel like I could still do it. I feel more confident than I did before, you know? And I think I just have to keep moving forward. It's very inspiring. I think that's the same for anybody. No matter what you want to do. If you want to be a game designer, if you want to make art, if you want to be a VTuber, if you want to create content, if you want to do the things that people say are impossible, don't give up. I'm not gonna do that. You guys will see all the sussy content. Oh, there's so much sussy content, chat. That Gura and Ame one, that one was super sussy. And they were still clothed. It made people laugh, but it was super duper sussy. Chat, don't cancel me. But yeah, I hope you guys find your way in life too. I just think that, what's it called? Sometimes it can be difficult, but just give it time. That's all I could tell everybody. Whether you're a VTuber who's trying to make your content and trying to be bigger, give it time. Your skills and craft will grow in time, as long as you put the effort into it and you believe in yourself. With that said, my throat's dying. Let's go raid somebody. Next week is going to be a normal week, chat. Unless I collab with somebody. We'll see. I'll have to get into talks with somebody for a collab. Alright. Let's go ahead. Let's go raid. I guess we go raid. Let's go raid. Mossy. Alright, chat. Let's see. Let's go bring it up. You know what's funny? This music's been going on and I forgot that it was there. Thanks for the stream. Thank you guys for joining me today. I know it was a lot of me talking. It's like a lot of me tooting my own horn and like, you know, a lot of me showing off. But I'm glad you guys were there to see it. I'm glad you guys got an insight of, you know, drawing. And I hope, if anything, I hope I inspired you guys to try hard on your own things, you know? I'm gonna keep trying hard moving forward as well. You know what? Let's make a raid message, chat. Alan Raid has arrived to say a message of peace because we know not how to raid, but to spread love. And in a heart. Alright, chat. There's your raid message, chat. I really actually have to get going. I'm a little late to what I need to do, so let me go ahead and raid. Thank you guys for joining me. I hope to see you next time, especially for Lobotomy Corporation. Imagining that every time you raid us. Thank you for coming. Yeah, thank you guys for coming. I hope you guys had a lot of fun. My throat's tired. Alright, let me go ahead and set up the one for Mossy, okay? Looks like you're doing Getting Over It. A fun game. Alright. Remember, chat, copy and paste your message. Get your guns ready. Or your raid messages. They want a raid? We'll give them a raid. Alright? Give me a second. Alright. Alright, let's go. Let's do this. Let me go switch the end card so you guys can see the end card. Alright. How do I end this song? There we go. Bye guys, thank you for joining. Have a good day. Enjoy yourself. Bye bye.